I'm a professor at NYU. I'm also in the AAUP chapter there. It is so good to see so many people turning out to fight for higher education today.
Our research, hands off! Academic freedom, hands off! Our rights, hands off! Our universities, hands off! Our communities,
research under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Our beloved students are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
ICE took our students.
We want them back! ICE took our students! We want them back! ICE took our students! We want them back!
Are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Our students are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Education that's free from coercion, free from censorship, transphobia, racism, and anti-immigrant hatred. We say no to abducting and deporting students and faculty for their pro-Palestinian speech and advocacy. We say no to deadly cuts to scientific research. No to discriminatory anti-DEI policies. No to the ban on trans people. And no to Trump's xenophobic immigration crackdown. We say yes to a free university. Open and accessible to all. A university where you can get a scientific education that faces up to the environmental catastrophe we've unleashed on the world.
Thank you so much. Oh, better than my arms.
Professional Staff Congress. The PSC represents 30,000 faculty and professional staff all across the city, University of New York. I just want to start by thanking everybody who came out today. Look around, give yourselves, let's clap it up, give yourselves a hand for being out today. This is amazing. We have a great lineup of speakers, so I'm going to keep it really brief. The knuckleheads who are running this country are not playing around. They're not playing. And so we cannot play around either. We need to be serious. Our administrations, if they can't find their backbones, we, the academic workers and the students, need to be the backbone of the movement, right? If organized labor has let that muscle atrophy, we as academic workers and students need to be the muscle of academic labor. It's our time. We didn't ask for it, we didn't deserve it, but we need to meet the moment. So our message has to be very clear and expressed in one voice, and it's the slogan of today's march, which is, we need to rally for the right to learn. When research is cut, that harms public health, that harms policymakers from knowledge that they need, and it deprives our students of their right to learn.
Millions of brilliant, tenacious, decent people are on our side, including countless educators at schools and universities nationwide. Trump's attacks on education and educators are not stopping with Columbia. They will not stop with the wealthy, selective private universities. We are all in the firing line together. So hear this, please. Columbia faculty will stand in solidarity with our colleagues at public universities, at private universities, at liberal arts colleges, at community colleges, at secondary schools, at primary schools across America. And we will need solidarity and self-sacrifice and steely determination to prevail in the struggle that lies ahead of us. But looking at this crowd today convinces me that we have what we need, and we will prevail. It's time for us, faculty and students, to stand up, organize, and take action for ourselves. Thank you.
University in New York City. The anti-war student protests of the past months offer us many lessons about our institutions and their exceptions and their limits. And I believe we are here today in large part thanks to the efforts of our students in the face of egregious repression to call out the complicity of our schools in mass destruction and slaughter in Palestine. The student encampments fought to preserve the university as a place of unsanctioned political life, and that is a vital resource which we must continue to protect. While we face unprecedented threats, this rally marks the formation of an equally unprecedented coalition of faculty unions and AUP advocacy chapters, of university educators, workers, students, and community members who are coming together to fight back. From NYU to CUNY, from Columbia and Barnard to the New School, from Rutgers to Fordham, and so many more.
Against the Bush administration's assault on human rights after 9/11. Come on, give it up for Barnard.
Everyone, I'm one of the lawyers for Mahmoud Khalil, and other students who were abducted on the streets of their own campuses. And in the case of Columbia, with the collaboration of their own university, abducted by plainclothes federal officers who disappeared them into an immigration gulag in Louisiana, where they are set up to face kangaroo justice. We also represent Professor Sheila Bedi, Northwestern University, a progressive clinical law professor who's been targeted by the House Education Workforce Committee of Elise Stefanchek's infamy, which is targeting her for her representation of Palestinian students and general progressive legal work and teaching students, which is just a warmed over and tackier version of the House Un-American Activities Committee.
That's right.
As mentioned, we're very heavily involved in responding to the human rights crisis created by the Bush administration following 9/11, and saw some lessons there. But make no mistake about this moment, what the government is doing has absolutely nothing to do with security. It is entirely about repression. The U.S. government is using every tool in its massive arsenal to arrest, to detain, to deport, and in the case of universities, to defund these institutions simply because they disagree with U.S. foreign policy and have the humanity, let alone the temerity, to stand up for Palestinian human rights and oppose a genocide in Gaza. Fear of speech is authoritarian. Fear of freedom is authoritarian, and it's being done on this under this false guise of a false definition of anti-Semitism, which, given the Nazi sympathizers in the administration, is obviously preposterous pretext. The true goal is to weaponize this ideological orthodoxy to dismantle the very institutions that undergird our democracy: courts, lawyers, civil society, and universities. And to suggest that due process is optional is, again, the hallmark of authoritarianism. Their strategy depends on testing us and shocking us to see if we will give up. Their strategy depends on dividing us so we cannot support each other. Will we let that happen? No! Will we stand together? Yes! Will we be silenced?
No! And teach their teachers. The university as we know it is up against the wall right now, but we also need to confront the fact that the right-wing authoritarianism of today was preceded by a liberal authoritarianism felt on campuses acutely by anti-war student protesters opposing the destruction of Gaza. If we oppose our students, colleagues, and community members being deported for their political commitments to a free Palestine, We should also oppose the 18 months of harsh discipline, arrest, surveillance, doxing, and criminalization they endured, which set the stage for the current crackdown. Likewise, it has never been clearer that our immigration system, with its built-in mechanisms for sidestepping the Constitution, is already a cruel, abusive, authoritarian apparatus. We can't go back to the day before yesterday. We need new ideas, new solutions, new ways of fighting, and that is why we need higher ed.
Columbia's AUP chapter.
Thank you all so very much for being here. We have a lot of great speakers coming up, so I'll be brief. Let me speak from the heart in personal terms. I was born in Columbia Presbyterian Hospital. I was brought up at 116th Street and Broadway, across from the Columbia Gates, and I've been a professor at Columbia for 27 years. No one feels more attached to Columbia University than I do. I'm proud of the great things Columbia's faculty and students have accomplished in its 271-year history. The last month has been the darkest chapter in that history. Our Columbia students, Mahmoud Khalil and Mohsen Mardawi, pro-Palestinian advocates, paragons of moderation and tolerance, were arrested by secret police and are being held without charges as political prisoners. Other Columbia students have been forced into hiding or exile. Hundreds of millions in federal grants, maybe billions, mostly for medical research, are being withheld. Our university president and trustees capitulated to a series of thuggish demands by the Trump administration. Columbia's mascot deserves a new name, the Cowardly Lion. As for Columbia's top administrators, they're like deer in the headlights. When they speak, it's timid, diffident, ambivalent, and bland. They can't even bring themselves to condemn the arrests or the attacks. And they won't litigate the grant cancellations or Trump's thuggish demands, even though they'd have a powerful case to do so. The AAUP has been a beacon of hope. 3 cheers for the AAUP. Thank you for litigating to roll back the Trump agenda. I wish my university's leaders had the kind of courage that you do. To all college faculty here, if you haven't joined AAUP, do it today.
City at CUNY. As a community college student, working class family.
It should be guaranteed a constitutional right to due process. That right has been in practice denied to many. For years, this country has spent triple the amount on immigrant detention as it has on the adjudication visa. I stand here in front of you because of that visa. I am horrified that our students live in fear of checking. Institutions insist on funding a genocide in Palestine, a scholasticide. We have witnessed administrators call the police to brutalize those students who dared object.
Shame!
We saw our colleagues watch cyber.
Peace and blessing, love and light to you all. How you doing? It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to see you. History is going to remember us. They used to warn and ask the question, what if it happened here? What if it happened now? That's no longer a warning. It is happening now and it is happening here. And the question is, what are we going to do while it's happening on our time? I am so thankful to see people standing up and stepping out because frankly, the people who should have been letting us down. We know that Donald Trump is disgraceful and shameful. I'm saddened to say that Mayor Eric Adams is disgraceful and shameful. I'm sad to see law firms like Paul Weiss shrink, be disgraceful and shameful. I'm sad to see institutions like Columbia shrink, when they should have stepped up. And I saw our Columbia University journalism students. I want to thank you so much for having the courage to step forward when your president and your leadership let you down. The thing about fascism, the thing about authoritarianism, the thing about dictatorship, they don't stop because you capitulate. They keep going. So all the capitulation won't save you. It won't do anything except let history know that you failed and that you cowered when you should have stepped up in leadership. There are people who are disappearing on our streets. In the Bronx, they're taking students, and our mayor is capitulating and allowing them to do that. It is shameful. And to see institutions of higher learning who read history and understand what happens before the worst things that we've ever seen, and that is now stand back and try to capitulate, is shameful. But unfortunately, there's always been a part of America that is capitulating. But I'm excited to be here today because I'm part of the America that has always fought back and always pushed forward and always say we will not let this happen while we're on our watch. And I want to thank all the leaders of the institutions of higher learning coming forward and say, you will not erase history. Just because you don't like what America has been, you cannot change what it has done. And we have to make sure we let everyone know that be careful where you put your marker of hate and your marker of bias, because somebody else's marker includes you. And so I want everyone to know what they said in Brazil when the authoritarian was elected. They said, no one let go of anyone's hands. So I'm asking every community, from faith to black, white, brown, Muslim, Jew, everyone hold hands. And that has to include our trans siblings. It must include everyone. You don't have to let go of your faith, but you have to move in love. And what they try to do is pretend that your pain is linked to someone else's gain. That is not true. And I stand here to let you know a secret. That our trans siblings getting health care is not the reason you don't have health care. You don't have health care because people are getting rich because you're dying. That is what is occurring. Do not let people who have a little bit fight against people who have none. Misplaced anger in history has always been harmful. It has always been the thing that has caused death and destruction. And I'm so sad of the disgrace that Eric Adams has become. But there's 8 million other New Yorkers who will tell him we will not allow your disgrace to turn our city backwards. And our institutions of higher learning keep teaching history. They are afraid of history because it shows us how we got here. And if we want to change how we got here, we have to know history. That's what they're afraid of. And we have always wondered, what would we do back then when things were going on? Well, we're up. We got to show what we can do. And my children's children are looking back at me right now saying, do not forget about me. Please. Our job is to make them in the future as proud of us as we are of the leaders in the past. We can all do that, I assure you. Yes, these are some tough times, but we can and will get through this with all of you, I assure you. And I want to leave you with some joy because it is important. I'm not the biggest RuPaul fan, I say that all the time, but he said something that helped me, that I carry with me. It's okay to look at the darkness, just don't stare at it. Make sure you take some time to look at your family.